Peter King of NBC Sports wrote in his Football Morning in America column today about the COVID-19 measures that the Minnesota Fighting Vikings are putting in place as rookies, as quarterbacks, as veterans look to descend upon TCO Performance Center Bar and Grill over the next week in this weird-ass off-season. So, again, fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. But head trainer Eric Sugarman, certified athletic trainer Eric Sugarman is now the Vikings infection control officer, and Sugarman's a rock star. I can think of no one better in the building to take care of this. So all of the procedures that have been put in place, this is what Peter King wrote about in the article. So parking lot's the first thing, right? So they actually took away Mike Zimmer's parking space, which I think is just hilarious. But there are 4 testing bays for everyone who's going to be entering the building, including now. In the article, they wrote about 80 players. Now, do they know something that we don't know? Well, will the Vikings punt on 7 bodies that probably won't make the team? Only bring 80 into camp as opposed to the 87 currently on the 90-man roster? I don't know. As well as 100 club employees that were deemed essential. Now, some of these are coaches, front office people, etc. But at the testing bays, you get the nasal swab, which they said is not the really invasive, like full-on, like alien touching your brain nasal swab, which is great. So I've been tested twice, came back negative both times. Nailed it. But yeah, the ones where they're basically touching your frontal cortex, not great. This is not great. As well as they have temperature checks out there. Plus, there's an app on your phone to get into the building, which they'll use for contact tracing, etc. So it seems like a lot, but it's something that teams are going to have to do this year. Locker room, it's like you would expect. Everything is spread out. So basically envision like a normal locker room. Everyone's going every other locker room. They're going to have to find extra space to accommodate the 80-man roster. So we'll see. Also, hot and cold tubs reduced from 12 to 6, which I don't know. Like sharing a hot tub with Michael Pierce, that's fine. We can spread out. It's cool. Plus, every other shower, as well as the training room, has been spread out. They put up plexiglass, etc. And also, so the meeting rooms, this is going to be interesting. So they have a giant theater at TCO Performance Center Bar and Grill, where generally they would have full team meetings. But team meetings are out. They said that full team meetings are probably going to be done by teleconference, like has been done during the offseason, virtual OTAs. But then they're going to use this as a meeting room. So traditional meeting rooms, they're out the window, right? And also the big theater, it's 1 every 7 seats. Cafeteria is now all going to be grab and go with disposable plates and utensils. Players go eat in their lockers like a bunch of ravenous mofos after practice. It's going to be great. As well as there's a COVID room. So if anyone has symptoms or they test positive, there's going to be an empty room that's kept sterile, where they can keep people who do test positive, as well as take care of them, go through the process there. Sugarman said this, quote, "The only way we can beat this is through education. The team that really takes responsibility for their actions is the team that has the competitive advantage. There's no year in my career that's ever been truer than this year," end quote. So I think the Vikings are at the apex. I think the Vikings are leading the way in terms of having all these precautions in place. Sugarman's a very serious dude who's obviously going to take these duties very seriously. So hopefully that, there will be infections, and whether a team takes it seriously or not seriously, it could be a difference between fielding a team, fielding a competitive team, actually having a season. So there's a lot of things going on. And yes, it may seem intrusive. It may seem like a pain in the ass, but it's what teams have to do. As well as, so you've seen on social media, well, basically over the weekend, where a lot of players have took to rallying against the NFL about their not taking COVID-19 seriously. You've seen Anthony Barr, Eric Kendricks, as well as Afadio Denebo getting after it on the old Twitter machine, right? But I don't think it's specifically calling out the Vikings. Well, they haven't been to the facilities. I think in general, it's a giant AstroTurf campaign by the NFLPA, just trying to leverage their negotiating position and get rid of the preseason, which I think is smart anyway, because why add in additional risk of COVID spread for games that don't count? This season doesn't make sense. Plus, since there's not going to be fans in the stands, the owners aren't necessarily losing out on a ton of revenue. Like, how much are those local TV shares? Like, how much is WCC? paying for those preseason game rights, huh? Yeah, what is that? So I think that it is mainly just leverage. I don't think it's the Vikings players specifically calling out what the Vikings are doing, because I think the Vikings, from what Peter King relayed here, and also note that Peter King throughout the entire offseason has been very skeptical about there being a season, as well as you actually may say that he's sort of rooting for the virus, but I think that his take here is really good. I think the Vikings are prepared as much as a team can be. So we'll see. Rookies report tomorrow, quarterbacks and injured players on Thursday, and then everyone, the whole band gets together next Tuesday, the 28th. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, your thoughts. Peter King touring TCO Performance Center Bar and Grill. Let us know in the comments section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Post on the Venmo. Plus, give us a follow on social media as well. Until next time. Skull, production value.